What stops people from letting go of something that clearly isn't working? And if you just could change the direction, where is it that you could go if you did? Success isn't just about working hard. It's about working smart. And part of working smart is knowing when to pivot. Too many people get stuck, not because they lack talent or effort, but because they refuse to change course when they should. Pivoting, it isn't quitting, it's strategy. The best leaders, athletes, and entrepreneurs all have one thing in common. They know how to adapt. They know how to recognize when they need to. If you are anything like me, and you want to learn how to do a better job of changing gears when the moment calls for it, then by the end of this conversation, we'll have considered how to better recognize when we need to pivot and talked through all of the steps that go into doing that with confidence, because staying stuck is never the answer. If you don't know, my name is Chad Joshua, and I am working towards writing a 100-song catalog. I write songs about populism, freedom, and liberty. This is my artist channel that I use to promote those songs. In my free time, I like to have these discussions to better consider the things that we could do and implement in order to see to it that we're making the best effort towards seeing our goals becoming accomplishments. So often we get hell-bent on doing something and we lean into it so much that even after it has become clear and obvious that our plan is failing, we continue to lean in, perhaps because of our ego, in memoriam of all of the sunk cost, fear of looking like we've failed, or even bullheaded stubbornness. Sticking to failing plans is demoralizing. It drains time, energy, and confidence. The longer that you resist adapting, the further you get away from where it is that you need to be. The willingness to pivot is the difference between someone who has the potential to succeed and someone who spins their wheels stuck in the same place. Adapting isn't a sign of failure. It's a sign of intelligence. Imagine trying to drive through a brick wall instead of just taking the open road next to it. That's what refusing to pivot looks like. It's incredulous, but I know you are stubborn and bullheaded just like me. So how do people like us differentiate persistence from just being stubborn? Firstly, not every challenge that comes along implies the necessity to quit. That's a given, but some do. The signs that it may be time to change your strategy would be: 1, you're putting a massive effort in with little return. 2, the plan is draining you instead of energizing you. 3, there is a better opportunity that you are ignoring because you are bullheaded. The real key to knowing when to adapt is learning to detach from your ego and focusing on what really works. Because sticking with the plan that isn't working isn't persistence. It is self-sabotage. Pivoting, it doesn't mean starting over. It means adjusting to get where you want to go faster. Some of us are encumbered by fear of change. Anything different is so upsetting that we would rather allow for the destruction of our whole world. But what would your life look like if you stopped being so insane and you stopped fearing the change and began to lean into adaptation as a skill set? A lot of people, they fear change because they mistake the routine for comfort and security. The most successful people aren't necessarily fearless, but they are aware and they trust themselves to be able to adapt when necessary. Every big opportunity in life comes with uncertainty, but so does staying stuck. So which choice makes more sense? Being adaptable is one of the most valuable skill sets you can develop. And the more that you practice pivoting, the less intimidating it becomes. Imagine surfing in the ocean. Those who know how to adjust their stance and timing get to ride the wave without wiping out. So how could shifting your strategy, even slightly, turn a current failure into a future success? And what does it take to admit that your current plan isn't working and actually do something about it? The steps to making a smart pivot are: 1, acknowledge reality. Is this really working? 2, detach emotionally. Don't let your ego keep you stuck. 3, look for alternative routes. What are the other options? 4, test small shifts first. You don't have to burn everything down to make a change. 5, commit and execute. Once you pivot, you go all in. It is like any other game ever played. You start with your game plan and then allow yourself the freedom to adapt based on what is happening in the game. Every great success story includes some circumstance where where a pivot was necessary. And learning how to do that for yourself is learning how to win, because sometimes the smartest move isn't charging forward, slightly stepping to the side so you can take the shot. What is one area of your life where a pivot could open up doors for you right now? Think about the ways that you have been resisting change and what could happen if instead of forcing the old way to work, you pivoted. The best players on the field aren't the ones who stick to what isn't working. They're the ones who adjust when they see that they need to and move forward toward a win. So don't let your ego and fear keep you stuck. The next time that you are faced with a roadblock, ask yourself, is this a dead end or just the time to make an adjustment? In the meantime, you keep your head up, and I'm going to keep my head up. If you haven't had a chance to listen to my new song, you can hear it there. We will talk again soon.